Welcome to the Committed Lifestyle Podcast, a place created for you, the woman who is ready to step up her game, up-level her mindset, and commit to taking action towards the life, relationships, and financial abundance she desires. My name is Jody.
And I am your co-host, Aspen, and we're serial entrepreneurs passionate about showing women the juicy tips, tricks, and tools to creating a life they love and loving the life they live.
So if you're ready for that, let's dive in.
Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of the Committed Lifestyle Podcast. It's me again, Aspen K. And I'm seriously so grateful that you're here for another SoloSode. I'm having so much fun recording these episodes because every time I sit down with the mic, aka, again, laying on my bedroom floor on top of a pile of blankets and pillows, and today I'm actually drinking a really yummy warm cup of coffee, so it's even more cozy. And I really just imagine that we're best friends having a sleepover or something, getting into some juicy talks and just diving into the real rawness of life together. You know? I don't know. I love it. I hope you're loving it too. It's been so much fun. But anyway, let's get into today's topic. So what I really want to talk to you guys about is something that has seriously transformed my life. And that thing that I want to talk about is the topic of boundaries and why they are so vital when doing the work to accomplish your goals, whatever that goal may be. It could be a fitness goal, business goal, maybe it's a relationship or personal growth goal. Whatever that is for you, I'm going to tell you right now, you are going to need to create boundaries in order to make that happen. Okay? And boundaries, they really are going to look different for everyone. There's no one size fits all kind of thing. It's definitely a very personal situation, but you need to figure out what's most important to you and begin learning how to say no to anything that isn't going to help move you in the direction of that thing that you say is most important to you. Okay? And this comes really easy to some people. If you're one of those people that setting boundaries is super easy and comes so naturally to you, that is so awesome. Bravo. Congratulations. That's amazing. For others, however, just the thought of setting a boundary probably makes you sick to your stomach. I know that was me for majority of my life. I was so bad at it. It honestly scared the crap out of me to even think about setting a boundary. Honestly, seriously, let's be real. I actually didn't even know what setting a boundary looked like up until this past year. I didn't know how to set them with other people. I didn't know how to set them with myself. I really didn't know how to say no. And I'm sure my people pleasers out there can resonate with this one. Sometimes it can feel wrong to say no. I think we have to ask ourselves, why do we feel it's our responsibility to make sure everyone around us is happy? Think about it. We say yes to everything that comes our way, maybe one reason is that we've convinced ourselves that we can handle it all. But let's be real, majority of the time we can't. But another big reason is that it feels wrong to be a little selfish and to choose what's best for us. I know I used to feel so guilty, so unbelievably guilty to say no or to protect my own energy and fear that I would hurt someone's feelings or that they would be upset with me. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's ever experienced this, but something that I want to make really, really clear, and I hope that you know and understand, and this is something that I've learned over the past year, that if someone gets upset with you because you're setting boundaries with them, that's just more evidence that boundary really is needed, okay? Know that. And boundaries, they can look and sound like a bunch of different things. They come out, they come alive in a bunch of different ways. Just a few examples are, that you can say to people to create boundaries are, it's not my responsibility to make sure others are responsible. Or, it's not my job to think, feel, or live for others. Another one I really like is, no one has to agree with me. It's okay to spend time alone without explaining myself. I have the right to end draining conversations and relationships. And my favorite, this is my favorite one, is it's okay to say no. I know that sounds kind of crazy to some of you, but saying no is probably one of the most important skills you can ever learn in your life when you are on a path of growth and accomplishing goals. If you want more time to focus on the things that are most important to you, to move the needle forward, if you want more freedom to live life on your terms, really, if you want more energy to actually do the things that are necessary for you to create a true life by design, you have to learn to start saying no. And that can be really, really hard. But when you start to practice that skill and master that skill, you may be closing a lot of doors. Actually, let me rephrase that. I don't want to say you're closing doors. You will purposely not be opening certain doors that you know aren't meant for you, which is so important so you can continue to be guided to the doors that are meant for you. You know what I mean? Boundaries, they can look a bunch of different ways and they can be needed in a bunch of different areas of our lives. Let's give an example around a health goal. Whether you want to build a certain amount of muscle, lose a certain amount of weight, maybe grow the booty, I don't know, whatever that goal may be for you, there are going to be certain things you need to do in order to make that goal happen, right? You need to put your work in the gym, or if you work out at home now, you need to put in that workout at home. You need to make certain things non-negotiables. You'll need to set boundaries around things that are going to prevent you from getting to that fitness goal, health goal. If you're out to eat and everyone is drinking alcohol and eating snacks that you know you definitely shouldn't be eating that are not going to help you to get to that goal, you have to create that boundary of saying, no, thank you. Right? Say you have an early morning or an early workout tomorrow and you need to feel your best. You need to learn to say no. You take your goal seriously, you say no, and that has to be okay. You have to learn to say no to the things that are going to detour you from losing that certain amount of weight or whatever it may be. This is just an example around health. Saying no to what is going to hold you back from that goal. Another area that I think is really hard to set boundaries in is within our families. I can't speak for everyone, but I would say that a lot of us probably feel a responsibility to show up for our family, even if that means we're putting our own energy and happiness on the line or on the back burner. We feel it's our duty to show up for them, even if it drains us. We feel like we owe it to our family to be exactly how they expect us to be, even if it's something that's super unhealthy. Setting boundaries within your family can honestly look like not agreeing on the same things and that being okay. For myself, this is an example for myself, I was raised very religious. I still have a very strong faith now, but when I moved out of my family's house for the first time and started to expand and to dive into my faith and what that looked like for me and my relationship with God, it didn't exactly look the way that I was raised that it was supposed to look. And that triggered people in my family for sure. I believe in God. I believe in universe. I believe to my core that we were all created and put on this earth for a reason. But the way I was talking about it, my family did not agree with. It didn't make sense to them because it wasn't the way I was raised and taught growing up. It created a discord with my family at some points. And I had to create this boundary of, you guys don't have to agree with the way that I see things, but this is my truth, and I'm going to honor my truth. I'm going to honor my relationship with God, no matter what that looks like to you, and whether you agree with it or not. That was setting a boundary. And they may not have understood at first, but now, as I continue to step in my truth and continue to show up in that truth, they respect it. But that boundary was so necessary because I was feeling so guilty and it caused me so much unhealthy stress. I'm sure I'm not the only one who has experienced something like this, maybe not the exact same situation, but you feel guilty because the way your parents raised you no longer aligns with who you are becoming now, and you start to have different opinions and beliefs. But that boundary of, I don't see things the way you see them, but I still love you and I still respect you anyway, is so important to protect your energy, okay? Another place that boundaries can be tough to set are with our significant others. Yeah, that can be a tough one. If you're in a relationship, I'm sure you can understand and resonate with this. And it's not because they're bad for us at all. That's not what I'm saying. But sometimes when you're working on a certain goal, your significant others can be that person that we kind of just want to do nothing with and enjoy their energy, right? Especially if you don't get to see them all the time, you're not going to want to focus on your goals. You just want to hang out with them, Go on that hike, watch TV, lounge around, and not focus on the things that are going to move the needle forward because you love spending time with them. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's very important to create the time with your significant other, your family, your children, your close friends. But being able to have that healthy boundary of, hey, I need you to know that on these days, at these times, I'm going to be doing this task and I can't be distracted during this time. And I'm not going to lie, that can be tough for people to hear sometimes, especially depending on what their love language is. They could hear that as, oh, wow, they don't want to spend time with me. But that's where that communication comes in, and you need to help them understand that it's not about that. It's about what you need to do right now to move things forward for your future. Say, I do this for our future. It's for us to have the life that we talk about, or so we can start the family that we want to start, whatever that may be. Expressing with them, hey, I need to do this. It does not take away from my love for you, but this needs to be the most important thing right now. And having an agreement around that it has to be okay. And sticking firm to that boundary. That's the thing. It's very easy to allow people that we love to bend our boundaries a little bit, bend our non-negotiables, but that's where you need to have discipline and stick firm in that boundary. Learning to set boundaries is going to allow you to focus on what you really need to focus on, what really is the most important thing, what is really going to move you forward in the direction that is going to lead you to the life of your dreams, right? I know that sounds super cheesy, but seriously, who do you imagine yourself to be? What does your home look like? What does your business look like? What kind of money are you making? What lifestyle you're living? What does your relationship with your spouse look like, with your family? If you can get really clear on that, and if you know that there's something that can help you get there, it doesn't mean that other things aren't important anymore. It doesn't mean they don't matter. It just means that there is something else that is the most important thing right now for the bigger picture, for your family, for your life. You are not setting boundaries to offend or to please anyone. You're doing it to manage the priorities that you've set for your life. Being able to tune into that and understand that, and having the people around you understand that, is really going to benefit you and continue to keep going and to keep moving things forward. There's one more area that I want to touch on that I think it's extremely necessary to learn to set boundaries around, and that's boundaries with yourself. This is one I feel like I need to talk about for a second because I know I had so much trouble setting boundaries with my habits, those subconscious habits that kept me from doing the work that I actually needed to do. Knowing I needed to do something, but I was allowing other things to take my attention. Really, the way I see it was being busy over productive, and it was totally a form of resistance, I will admit that. But I needed to set boundaries around what was keeping me busy, quote unquote, and what that looked like was cleaning, for me, I was cleaning the house before I could start doing work, or making sure the dishes were always clean and put away before I could focus on the task that really mattered, or choosing to go to lunch with someone on my lunch break instead of coming home and recording a podcast. I was constantly tidying at the house, constantly doing chores, constantly running errands, all these little tiny things that, yes, I was checking things off my list, but when I took a step back and asked, does this really need to be done right now? And, I realized that they could actually wait. Sure, there comes a point where you could put them off for too long and things get a little crazy, but that's when you take a moment to create a set time for when you do those busy work things. Maybe, for example, Fridays, that's the day you dedicate to cleaning the house, getting errands done, grabbing lunch with your friends. That's your designated day to do all those things. But then you make sure that every other day is open so you can move the needle forward towards your health, towards your business, towards your relationship, towards your personal growth, whatever that goal is for you. I hope this is making sense to you, and I hope that you're getting a lot of value out of this, because learning to say no and setting boundaries with people and with myself has been hands down the most powerful thing to help me show up as the woman that I truly want to be. It's hard and super uncomfortable at first if you haven't been doing this throughout your life. But it's a skill. It's a skill that if you keep practicing over and over again, it will become second nature to you, and it will change everything. We have to protect our own energy first. We have to say no to what drains our energy. Say no to the people that distract us. Say no to the toxic relationships. Say no to anything that is going to knock you off course. Saying no and creating those boundaries is going to protect your energy, your soul, and really allow you to have so much more peace in your life. Because this is your life, right? Of course, we need to serve others. I truly believe that's why God put all of us here on earth, is to serve the world in some kind of way. But you can't fill from an empty cup. You can't pour from an empty cup. So if you're not focusing and making sure that you are protecting your energy and filling yourself up in the ways that you know are needed, and saying no to those things that can potentially derail you from who you are trying to become or the goals you are trying to accomplish, that's something to dive into and make a priority in your life. To protect your energy, to say no to things that are not going to lift you up. You have to love yourself enough to set boundaries. Your time, your energy are so precious. You get to choose how you use it. It's your responsibility to set boundaries and decide what is and what isn't allowed in your life. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You just got to do what's best for you and your growth, girl. That's it, okay? I hope you got some value out of this episode. If you loved it, please leave an honest review below. That means so much to me. And tag me and send me a DM on Instagram. I absolutely love hearing the value and juicy nuggets that you get out of these episodes. And I genuinely love connecting with you. I love connecting on the gram. So please send me a DM on there, tag me. And if you have someone in your life, a girlfriend that you know needs to hear this, and this would resonate with their heart, please take the time to share and help me get this message out there to the world. It would mean so much to me. You are the best. I freaking love you. And until next time, I'll talk to you soon.